Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast with your host, hailing from Kaukauna, Wisconsin, riding a CST Tires SSI decals traveling back Yamaha YFC 450R, four-time ATV Motocross National Champion, number 25, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Welcome to the latest edition of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, episode 96 of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, CST Tires, in stock and available for purchase today at shop.csttires.com. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, saying hello to our more than 180,000 monthly Digging Deep listeners in all 95 countries in which you are listening, and this is our 2022 Awards Banquet Recap Show, which kind of turns into a season wrap-up show as well. Regardless, you're going to really enjoy this one. Jeremy Osborn, owner of Briarcliff MX, has been an integral part of the last couple banquets, and he joins this episode to help discuss the specialty awards that were handed out, give us an update on his daughter, reigning WMX Champion Kinsey Osborn's status following her recent knee reconstructive surgery, and we get into a lot of ATV Motocross current events in this episode ahead. As I said, you're going to love this one. With that, let's quickly shout out all of our incredible partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thank you SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Impact Solutions, Lunderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, the financial advice of the Haymauer Financial Group, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Factory 43, Integrated Financial Concepts and their Safe to Race and Safe to Ride insurance programs, Binky's Forever ATC Museum, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Walsh Racecraft, and Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. Manscaped's signature line, the Performance Package 4.0, includes the new Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer that I rely on to help keep my beard on point, the best nose hair trimmer ever created, and an array of goodies like deodorant, boxer briefs, a travel bag, and more. So check out Manscaped. I wish I would have sooner, and get 20% off with free shipping by using code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. I say it every week, but I mean it. It's so rad that Manscaped is investing in ATV racing as a longtime partner of Digging Deep. So help us keep them in the fold and involved in ATV racing by using our Digging Deep 20 code so they know you enjoy digging deep and what we're all about here. Support all these great companies that support us, and for any products that fall through the cracks, click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website to help us out. Whether it's for fall riding or already prepping for next season, we both know you still need parts and gear. No matter what off-road gear parts you need, Rocky Mountain ATVMC has you covered. But before you buy, simply click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. By using our specific link, we get a percentage of what you buy on the back end, enabling you to help support us while purchasing the parts you need anyway. And did you know that you can buy OEM parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC as well? Yep, shipped conveniently right to your door. So click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying all your gear and parts needs. No new donors to shout out this week, though we do want to recognize all of our monthly donors. We appreciate you guys so much. It means the world to us that you believe in us enough to support us in that way. Just can't thank you enough for that. And if you are interested in donating and hearing your name on the show, you can find the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee donation links on our website. Again, major thanks to all who have donated. You guys freaking rock. Now, it's showtime. The 30-second board is up. It's sideways. And the gate is down. Time to dig deep. Let's go. All right, guys, we are back, and I've really been looking forward to this conversation. This returning guest is brought to you by our friends at Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Rocky Mountain is your go-to one-stop shop this off-season for hard parts, accessories, gear, and OEM parts, all shipped conveniently right to your door. Click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our homepage at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying your gear and parts needs and getting the parts you need. Anyway, joining us tonight following the season-ending ATV Motocross National Championship Series Award Banquet is none other than the owner of Briarcliff MX himself, Mr. Jeremy Osborn. Sir, welcome back to Digging Deep. And as we're getting into late-ish October here, with November right around the corner, we know you organized the banquet. That's behind you. Probably not many practice days left for you at the track there this fall. Are things slowing down for you yet?
A little bit, yeah. And thanks for having me on, Cody. It's always a blast. Things are, I would call it a downshift from fourth to third.
Okay.
I'm getting some awards shipped out for people who couldn't, they could not, unfortunately, they could not make it to the banquet. Doing that,
Mm-hmm.
Kinsey's rehab's kicking in. Doing some off-season stuff, doing some track changes.
Okay.
So not as slow as I would like it to be, but slowing down.
Hey, I hear you. It never slows down as much as I'd like it to be. Like it's just from one crazy thing to the next crazy thing is how it goes. So I totally get that. So the reason why I wanted to chat with you, Jeremy, and wrap up the season here and discuss the season-ending awards ceremony is because last year you were kind of given the task of putting together the banquet, right? So tell me about how that came about, how you got involved in that whole ordeal from the start last season, and how you revamped it, because the goal was to make it, a better experience and a little more engaging than years past, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Last year, I think the banquet had before I hosted it, the banquet had gotten to the point where it was getting harder and harder for MX Sports to kind of coordinate and do both, because they handle the GNCC banquet, which is a huge task in and of itself. They coordinate pro motocross, and they're just extremely busy. Mm-hmm. And so I got with Carrie and I said, hey, let me take this load off your plate. And so that was kind of a no-brainer for her. I'm a promoter in the series. I want to see good things for it. And it cuts down on her workload. So,
and some of it, Jeremy, was that people were complimentary of your own, Ohio banquets, right? That you took care of.
We so this will be the 10th year I've organized the banquet in Ohio for Ohio Motocross Association. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a stranger to doing the banquets. I'm by no means a professional, but I've done a few, and I know what to look for. And this banquet to me is fairly similar in size, so it was actually not as difficult as some people would imagine to organize. We have a lot of help. It's not just me. There's a ton of people. I am not going to attempt to name them all, because I guarantee you I'll leave someone out. But everyone that I thanked in that post, I think I pretty much got them that helped set up this year.
Okay.
A lot of those same individuals help us last year. And it's not, the point is, it's not a one-man show, not even close. Mm-hmm. It takes a small army to put on a banquet, at least to have one that seems semi-successful. So we should be thanking all the folks that have organized alongside me, including MX Sports and everyone else that helped us set up and tear down and the whole bit.
Mm-hmm. And you quickened the pace of it, right? Like there's things that you did to just kind of change up the banquets that we knew from years past, right? Like you kind of, I remember talking to you prior to the banquet last year, and you just saying you wanted to, dice things up a little bit, change things up so it didn't become so redundant. I believe, if I remember our conversation.
Yeah. So I raced the series first time back from my long break in 2018, and I went to that banquet, and I was in, I don't even remember, I think it was just regular 40 plus. Mm-hmm. And I think I was standing on stage at about 11:30, and I thought there's got to be a better way. And so last year it ran longer than I'd wanted it to. I thought we were done around 10:30, 10:45. This year I think we got to the pros around 9, and we wrapped her up around 9:30, which was a lot more efficient. We started a little earlier, and we kind of rolled with the program a little more, I don't know what you call it, a little more want to or whatever. We kind of wanted to move it along. Let's go, let's roll, but still be respectful of people's time up there.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's a big deal for everybody, right? Whether you're nervous about it or you're excited to be able to thank your sponsors, the minute or whatever that, you as a champion or a podium finisher or whatever it is, to shout out your sponsors and kind of tell your little bit of a story from your race season, that's a big deal for every person. So you don't want to steal the opportunity from the person, but you don't want every single person to talk for 2 minutes and then it becomes 1:00 in the morning before you're done.
Yeah, I think the biggest change was we originally back in the day would interview the top 10.
Right.
And I'm not trying to belittle or shame anyone out of the top 3, but from me personally, if I got 7th, 8th, 9th, I would be happy if they let me on the stage.
Yes. Yep. I agree. Yep.
So we cut it down to the top 3. And I kind of struggle with the kids. I almost feel like the kids, we should go back a little further because it's more about them anyway.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even, if I got top 3 or 4 or 40 plus, I'd be fine if you brought my award to my table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But the kids are free entertainment too. Like there's some good stuff that pops off in the kids interviews.
Yeah. The kid interviews are cute. Especially the small 50 class, the 4 to 6. But we did things like that. And we also this year took a lot of my little grand prize giveaways throughout and saved them for the end. It just kept things rolling.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the efficiency and timing this year. It went pretty well.
Good. Yeah. So I knew, like I said, I knew that you came in, you had, kind of this daunting task of kind of revamping the banquet. I knew there was tweaks made for this year. So now that my listeners are up to date on your role with this whole thing, I want to get into kind of the meat and potatoes of tonight's conversation, the specialty awards handed out at the banquet. And the fun part, at least for me, Jeremy, is I don't even know the winners of some of these awards as we sit here right now. I had a scheduling conflict and we weren't able to make it to the banquet this year. So, Jeremy, first and foremost, as we get into some of these specialty awards, kind of getting into this, how do you and the leadership group, or however that works, come up with the names that ultimately get nominated for these awards that we're about to talk about?
This was probably the number one message / email I got from parents this year. Who picks these people? Who picks these companies? Who's in charge so I can rip his head off? And I, what I can tell everyone is a lot of it starts with me in the very beginning. I will circulate an email with a list of potentials. Mm-hmm. And then we have a panel of industry professionals and enthusiasts that have been around a long time, have good insight, and I let them make changes, make suggestions. Interesting story. The first list that was circulated didn't have Kinsey Osborn on it. And it wasn't until someone, a friend, suggested she should be on there that she actually got on the list. Mm-hmm. But we circulate that and we chew on it, and then once we feel like it's in a good place and a good representation of the achievements of the racers, it's sent around for vote.
I can validate what you said, right? Because I received the first list, the preliminary list from you via email. And then, I don't know what it was, maybe a week later, a few days later, whatever it was, kind of circled back and there was, more names added, and it was kind of, it was refined, and our batch of people to select from was bigger. So yeah, I knew that we needed to touch on that. I knew that you weren't going to want to be the guy on the chopping block for, I picked all these, but yeah, I wanted to get that question out of the way. So right off the bat then, Jeremy, there are a couple awards that we know the winners of already when the dust settles at Loretta's, and those being Mechanic of the Year, which automatically goes to the mechanic of the rider that wins the AMA ATV Pro Class National Championship. So therefore, congrats to Joel Hetrick's mechanic, Gary Schlentz. Well deserved by him, obviously. Awesome year for Joel Hetrick. That goes without saying. And then the other one is Pro Rookie of the Year, which in 2022 goes to Zach Decker for acquiring more points than any other rookie. Welcome to the club, Zach. Congrats to him. But for others, let's do this, Jeremy. I'll give you the award as well as the nominees, and I'll let you kind of tell us who won. So let's start off with the youth awards. So your nominees for Junior Youth Rider of the Year were Logan Masway, Ethan Tverziak, and Caden Tverziak, two brothers, which is kind of rad.
Right.
So who won the Junior Youth Rider of the Year award?
That went to Caden Tverziak.
Okay.
Interesting note, between him and his brother, they had 5 championships.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's wild.
And championships really carry weight here. I got asked that as well at the banquet.
Mm-hmm.
What are the determining factors? And I said, well,
right.
The biggest one is championships, and Caden had 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he had actually wrapped his up. I believe 2 of the 3 were wrapped up around the time Kinsey did. I think a couple races early.
Sure. Okay.
So he had a stellar performance.
So that means he dominated. That's what you're getting at. By having it wrapped up early, he dominated the thing.
Yeah, and his brother Ethan almost mirrored that, I believe. Don't quote me on that. At least one class, I think he dominated.
Okay.
But I'm not. The details are a little fuzzy at this point because we're going back a couple 3 weeks here.
Of course, yeah.
But I believe by all accounts, Caden was the more dominant rider of those 3.
Okay.
So the award went to Caden Tverziak for this year.
Okay, awesome. So let's get into then the Senior Youth Rider of the Year award, and that was a who's who of 250cc riders in this one, future stars of the sport. So that was Joey Norris, Matt Greenwald, and Noah Arnold. Who won this one?
And this award went to Noah Arnold. Pretty, tough, but not tough in a way. I don't know how to describe it. The competition here amongst all 3 of those guys and all 3 of those classes really came down to the final laps.
Yeah.
At Loretta Lynn's. And all 3 had at least one event where they swept the 250 classes, which is amazing. Kind of a mind. Yeah, it's amazing. I think really, honestly, with the feedback I got from people on the panel, they gave the nod to Noah because he got 2 championships.
I was going to say that had to be the tiebreaker because he won 2, and of the three 250 classes, he won 2. That's got to be the tiebreaker.
Pretty much. You got 3 guys who are the best 250 riders, the best teenage riders probably in the country, if not the world. Yeah. And the only way you can, you just got to go to the stats. There's either that or flip a coin. I don't really have any coins.
Right. I know. Like you said, championships are paramount when it comes to this. And man, just the 250 classes in general, to watch what those kids all did this year, especially like you said, to sweep all 3 classes, 3 different riders, to do it all in this one season. Just amazing to watch that all play out. We had Noah and his family at our ride day there at the end of August in Ohio, and talked to their family a little bit. And man, it's just an awesome kid, awesome family, right? But and all of those kids are, but just awesome to see just how competitive that class was this year. It was can't miss.
They're crazy fast, and those 2 stole the show at the banquet.
Oh yeah.
Noah and Joey dressed up. Joey's dad, Jeff, either rent or bought these tuxedos that look like the tuxedos worn in Dumb and Dumber by Harry and Lloyd. And it was funny. They all had a good laugh about it. They were all good in good humor about it. And it was pretty cool. Pretty
Well,
good idea.
So it's actually, and yes, coolest idea. When I saw these pictures, I busted a gut, but I think it is cool. And it kind of sets a precedent, for even younger kids or whatever, that like they're so competitive, yet they were super, friendly throughout this whole season, through the end of it. They're Harry and Lloyd at the banquet. Like what an awesome image to create
Right.
too, like, hey, we can go leave
No,
it all on the racetrack and then be buds off the track.
correct. Fiercest competitors on the track,
Mm-hmm.
still friends off the track, and still relax and have fun.
Yeah.
Don't take it too serious type of deal. That is the mentality I think a lot of the younger kids, younger than them, should adopt.
Mm-hmm.
It really should become a focus. They're a good example of how we should act and carry on off the track.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. So congrats to Noah Arnold on that Senior Youth Rider of the Year award. So then moving on to the Silverback Award for Most Outstanding Vet Rider, nominees were Jeff Robbins, Chase Cunningham, and CD Musig. I have to assume Jeff Robbins won this award, Jeremy.
Yeah, no discredit to Chase or CD. They're amazing riders. That was more of we're nominating. They were nominated just as a good job.
Yes. Yes.
But I think everyone here knows Jeffrey Robbins is the guy. I mean, he's fast. He's amazingly fast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's swept 30 and 40 plus, I think, 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
I
was sitting here thinking, Jeremy, I would love to know how many motos and overalls he's won over the last 3 years. I mean, it's got to be near 50, near 50 overalls, let alone.
I raced him. I didn't race him. I was on the track last year, 21.
Okay.
And the only time he didn't win is when he broke down, which
mm-hmm.
wasn't very many.
Right.
And it was like a moto. We got like maybe 2 or 3 motos where he didn't finish, but if he was finishing, he was winning. So
yeah, we're gonna have to do some math there because I would love to see that stat.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, he's actually the reason we came up with this award. I thought, a guy that is so dominant mm-hmm. for his category, for his age, for his racing group, why doesn't he get a little extra recognition?
Agreed. Oh yeah, agreed.
And so he actually was the catalyst for the award last year. So.
Okay, awesome. I love that. So then next up is the Michelle Jenkins ATVMX Ambassador Award. Who did that go to, Jeremy? Such a cool award. Has to be an honor to win. Who won this one?
This one was a lot of fun because I had to hide it from the winner.
Okay.
And he wanted to be intimately involved with picking the winner. So okay. I had to be very careful about what I said and did leading up to the banquet.
Got it.
But it went to Brian. Yeah, I went to Brian Jenkins for his work with the WMX whole shot program. And I had to be very careful because Brian would message me and say, hey, what about this guy? What about her? What about, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Well, I'll work on that and I'll get back to you. And then even the night of the banquet, I said, hey, let's let Debbie present this award because, and then once because she got it last year. Mm-hmm. And then when, the winner's called on stage, you can go up for a photo op. He's like, oh, okay. So I got him good.
Nice. Yeah.
He didn't see it coming and well deserved. I mean,
oh my gosh. I literally just wrote on my paper, deservedly so. Yes. I mean, you can touch on this, Jeremy, but all the stuff he did for that WMX class, and you guys have kind of been a tag team effort in all you've done to build up this class. But man, from what I understood, all the stuff he did like himself, took the initiative, got it organized, right? Got stuff made, all these things. You can elaborate on that, but I knew he did a ton for the WMX class this year.
100%. There weren't any whole shot awards before Brian Jenkins. Mm-hmm. He went out and found the sponsors to do it. Went to Ian, got the flags made for the whole shot flags. I mean, he pretty much put it on his back. Mm-hmm. and just carried it. And I jumped in and helped some, but that whole like facet of 2022 was Brian Jenkins for the most part. Awesome. I mean, I'm sure he's had some other helpers that maybe I don't know about, but dude, he that was a pretty major task, and he killed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he deserves that, obviously. And like I said, we've touched all season long, just the rise of the WMX class. I think it's so cool. It's so deserved. We got so many great personalities and riders, ambassadors in the sport right now. And then for him and all that he did to rise up the class, the whole shot award, all those things is pretty special. So I'm glad that we could touch on that. Congrats to him on that award, the award that he did not see coming. So that's awesome. We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. We used to speak of a CST takeover, but now 2022 is the year of CST supremacy. CST's Pulse MXR tires are the choice of Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Nick Janusa, meaning CST tire riders are in contention for pro class wins and a possible podium sweep every time they hit the racetrack. CST tires are also the official tire choice of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, but you already knew that. I, your host Cody Jansen, helped pioneer the CST takeover with Pulse MXR fronts and white label soft compound rears on my way to back-to-back national championships and a pro sport podium to cap off the 2021 season. The Pulse MXR tire, available in soft and standard compounds, offer the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. Did I mention they offer contingency payouts as well? Visit shop.CST Tires to join the CST takeover today or prepare to be beat by someone who did. Joel Hetrick, Jeffrey Rastrelli, Nick Janusa, myself, and so many more believe and trust in CST Tires. Do you? You already know we're Team Blue Crew now more than ever here at the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. And whether it's 8-time and reigning ATVMX Pro Class National Champion Chad Wienen, who with his next championship will become the winningest champion in ATV motocross history, or 7-time and current XC1 Pro ATV GNCC National Champion Walker Fowler, who is now tied for second all-time in titles won, it's clear the podium-proven Yamaha YFZ 450R is the winning choice of sport ATVs. This continued and unprecedented success for the Yamaha YFZ 450R, its unrivaled quality and performance, and the undisputable fact that Yamaha is the leading OEM supporter of ATV racing has resulted in an ever-growing Yamaha takeover within the sport quad market. Best yet, Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program is back and stronger than ever here in 2022, meaning Yamaha riders will once again cash in on payouts and prize opportunities, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more info, head over to YamahaBlueCrew.com, follow them at Yamaha Outdoors on social media, and check out Yamaha's full proven off-road lineup at YamahaOutdoors.com today. SSI Decals is a name synonymous with ATV racing, synonymous with big-time success, and absolutely synonymous with the best-looking decals around. An offshoot of their parent company that was established in 1947, SSI first took shape from owner Ian Harris's passion for ATVs. With what started as just making numbers and decals for riders like Chad Wienen, the company quickly took off, and today you couldn't imagine ATV motocross without SSI decals. The graphics maker and designer now supports all the top teams in ATV motocross, as well as teams and riders racing GNCC, Work Series, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Canadian Pro Motocross, short course off-road trucks, UTVs, snowcross, and, oh yeah, 6-time world champion top fuel drag racer Clay Milliken. No project is too big or too small for SSI decals, making your identity stick with championship level graphics. Head over to SSIDecals.com today and then maybe call the doctor because things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX podcast is brought to you in part by DID and their wide range of championship winning chains. From the street to the track and everywhere in between, DID chains are designed to give you the optimal riding experience with great performance and increased chain life. Consistent to the core, pick up your box of reliability today. DID, what drives you?
We are proud to be partnered with Namura Technologies. Since 2001, Namura has led the charge in the ATV and side-by-side market, covering more applications than anyone else in the industry. Namura's advanced piston technology uses a NASA-exclusive aluminum alloy that helps to reduce expansion rates, allows for tighter tolerances, and leads to higher overall engine performance for your machine. For more information about Namura's wide offerings of pistons, rings, gaskets, industry-leading top-end repair kits, and recently added connecting rods, visit your local dealer or online at www.namura.com. Namura Technologies, your one-stop shop engine component supplier. We are pleased to be partnered with Bronco ATV and UTV Components. Bronco has been an industry leader in replacement hard parts and accessories for all makes and models for over 15 years. With a catalog that includes a full line of electrical components, engine internals and cylinders, shock and suspension parts, winches, clutch kits, valves, carb kits, bearing kits, and drive chain parts, Bronco is your hard parts source for whatever you need for whatever you ride. Available exclusively through distributors around the world, visit your local dealer or online at broncoatv.com. Forworks Carbon's innovative lightweight products include top-notch seat covers, carbon fiber and plastic hoods, gas tank covers, exhaust shields, shock guards, and much more. Whether you have an ATV, UTV, or snowmobile, Forworks has the goodies that will improve your ride and make you salivate. We trust Forworks for increased function and a sexier look, and you should too. Forworks Carbon, always working hard to bring high-quality and innovative parts to the market. Check them out today at fwcarbon.com.
Jeremy, the 2022 Amateur Rider of the Year, the award that everyone wants to win. As long as I've been around this thing, you go to the banquet talking about who's going to win the Amateur Rider of the Year award this year. I actually had to ask you who won this one ahead of time. Like I said, I wasn't at the banquet because to me, it was a toss up between Brett Musig, who dominated the two of the fastest classes in the sport, pro sport and 25 plus, and your daughter, Kinsey Osborn, who dominated her rookie season in the WMX class, dominated the women's 15 plus class, and made waves in the B classes. Spoiler alert, like we kind of touched on earlier with Jeremy, Kinsey won this thing, deservedly so. Tell me about the emotions. What a great way to end a dreamlike season for Kinsey and your family.
Well, it's an honor. I wrestled with this once I knew the result, and after a few conversations with people who voted for her, I started to see what they were seeing and what they were saying. They're like, look, on her level, on her, like in her pool or whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
she is nowhere near as fast as Brett Music. That's never gonna be something we could argue and win ever. He's so fast. But the way she won, just being the rookie coming in and defeating the reigning champion.
Yep.
I think that was another little fact that they kind of laid out for me, like, hey, it wasn't like the current champ, left. And it was hers to battle it out with the other girls. She won against the 3-time champ.
Mm-hmm.
And she even showed that it wasn't just, WMX or girls or whatever. She'd mix it up in the B class. And I think she one or two spots, like we said before, and she had a 1B at Red Bud.
Yeah. Oh, she was close. Yeah.
So no, it's awesome. But at the same time,
you're trying not to be biased, Jeremy. You're trying not to be biased.
I know, but it's like I said, I didn't even have her on the list.
I know, but it's so deservingly so, like you said. And I said this to her when we had her on the show. So when she comes in and wins this championship in front of the, I believe, 3-time reigning champion prior to that, right? Andrea Berger,
yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Awesome ambassador for the sport, great rider, like all the stuff she's done for it is so great. Kinsey comes in though,
yep,
and knocks her off in an incredible rookie season. And when you compare the top level women where she is at, that's the pro class for the ladies is really what it is. So that would be like a rookie coming in and knocking off 3-time champion Chad Wienen or Joel Hetrick, whoever would be that guy at the time. But that would be like a rookie coming in and doing that and doing it and looking the part of the champion from the very beginning of the season until the very end, even through injury. I just, in my mind, when you spin it that way, like you said, man, nobody was more deserving. It's just the reality of it.
Yep. I think she made her own waves.
Yes.
And, I guess at the end, I came around and I thought, yeah, you know what? If you look at it that way, she probably was Amateur of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm happy for her. She did really good this year. She rode smart and did what she did what she had to do, which is why usually tell her, I said, you got to do what you got to do. So she did it.
Yeah, she absolutely killed it. And so speaking of Kinsey, Jeremy, can you give us an update on how she's doing following that knee reconstructive surgery that she had to repair that knee that she injured at Loretta Lynn's at the finale there? And let me just say before you hop in here, just a fun fact for the listeners, maybe they saw this post that I posted already last week, but despite suffering this major injury mid-race at Loretta, she overcame it to still win the moto and the eventual overall for her 7th WMX overall victory of the season. As if she hadn't put together an impressive enough season, she showcased how massively tough she was in her final act as a rookie. What a season for this high school junior. Still blows my mind. I think that we saw so much growth from her from, beginning of season to end, not just as a rider, but like as an individual, which is awesome to see. So Jeremy, how are her spirits and how is she feeling? I guess just a week now, right after the surgery.
Yeah, it's 1 week today. She might have been having it actually right now a week ago.
Okay.
But she's been at home recovering. It went really well. Not much meniscus damage, if any at all.
Good.
Very little. The actual ACL repair went extremely well. So far, I mean, she's up, starting to kind of walk a little bit with, assistance from the crutches. She went to a rehab today for the first time. She's got that schedule.
Okay.
I think things are going well. She's going to start doing the recommended stuff that you do at home for rehab.
Okay.
I think it will just have to play it by ear, but I would say at this point she's on schedule.
Good.
For next year.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that every knee surgeon or and I know it's the same with shoulders and stuff like that, but it's kind of exploratory when you first get in there, right? Like they'll tell you don't know how bad some aspects of it are. And I shot you a text, last week at this time and said, was thinking about you guys, hoping for the best, and told you that, man, like that. So I blew out my ACL, MCL, meniscus when I was 15, and same thing, finished out the end of the season, won the national championship. But I had that surgery and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I took things that I learned from my physical therapist as a man and as an athlete that I still use to this day, kind of try to mimic, things that he taught me and did to this day. As far as like, it made me a better competitor, made me love the sport more, because I was a guy that rode laps every single day. So I had to take 6 or 7 months off, whatever it was. And also, like today, as I sit here, my operated knee is my better of the two knees. So I think long-term, as long as you do everything that they tell you to do and don't do too little, don't do too more, do exactly what they tell you, to do for her.
Right.
Man, she's going to come out totally good. Long-term, that knee is going to be totally good. And I assume that, because things are different. Like even, this was 2007. This was 15 years ago now for me. And like, even in that time, it's such a quicker process now. Like it used to be, I remember them telling me it's going to be a year, and it's just not like that anymore, especially when you're not, and I know she is an athlete in other sports, but as long as, you're not a sprinter or whatever. I mean, in 6 months, like a person can ride and you can be pretty safe.
Yeah. That might be the only, I guess a little bit of a hang up is, coming into this year, we were ready, pretty much ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a slower start to next season. She's going to get a little later start on riding.
Yep.
I mean, I think she'll come around, but it definitely is something that you may see her struggle a little bit the first couple rounds with fitness, but riding fitness. She'll be physically fit. She always is. Mm-hmm. But the riding fitness is where, we had I don't want to say an advantage, but an advantage. We started riding early this year, and she rolled into Daytona with quite a bit of seat time. So, 2023, I don't think we're going to have that opportunity. So we're just going to have to suck it up and roll and get better as the season goes.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's kind of a trade-off, right? Because last year coming into the season, you guys knew you were strong, but it was still WMX was still an unknown a little bit. You still didn't know exactly where you stood. So now she knows, where she stands. She knows how good she is. She knows where she stacks up, and she can race herself into riding shape there at the beginning of the season a little bit. That'll be just fine. So yeah, wishing you guys all the best. The best with her recovery. She's the best. I enjoy the conversations that I've had with her here on the show so much. So always cheering for you guys. But moving on to the remainder of our awards here, Jeremy, and I have to believe the rest of these are what you call the Racer's Choice Awards, right? And I believe that means they're judged by popular vote. Am I right in saying that?
That is correct. So a little bit of a departure from what you have on your sheets.
Okay.
There was so 3 of which we wanted the racers or the enthusiasts to have a say or a vote. A lot of these are voted on by people that most people don't know.
Okay.
And I felt like we should have 3 awards that people have a say in. The most feared youth rider. It started out as race team of the year, but when I actually went to post it, I thought it should be favorite race team.
Okay.
Because it is the racer's favorite race team. I mean, that's really what is happening.
Okay.
So out of that, I created an actual race team of the year that was voted on by the panel.
Okay.
And that's the award that the music's won.
Okay.
And then number 1 series sponsor. I just felt like those 3, the favorite race team, most feared, and number 1 sponsor should be a popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish I could find a better way to do it. Facebook is Facebook.
Yep.
It has its pluses and minuses.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there were a better way. I wish we could take the people who actually raced and I could get all their emails and say, here, vote.
Yeah.
Yep. Poll them and keep the kind of the riffraff out of it and all the different things that have gone on to change the voting.
Okay.
So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah. We have those 3 were by popular vote.
Okay, got it. So yeah, that was kind of my question. I was wondering how riders get selected and all that stuff. I assuming that comes from the panel as far as like nominees go.
Well,
is that true or no?
Actually, on these 3, the popular, I put out a post.
Oh, you just left it wide open and let people comment.
Yeah.
Got it.
I did.
Got it.
And I did whittle down the rider award, the most feared rider, because they really got outlandish with a few.
Sure. Well,
names,
and this is the thing. Like everybody comments, their buddy or the person that they know or whatever, right? So I mean, I understand that's what you're getting at with Facebook being kind of a hurdle.
Yeah, but as far as the favorite race team, I think I included most that had at least 1 championship.
Okay.
Into like the final, hey, vote on these on Facebook.
Got
it. Yeah, so the panel actually didn't have anything to do with those 3.
Got it. And I should have known that by this popular vote Facebook thing. I did know that part. But Jeremy, I will say, and I probably should have said this before, but I love what we're doing. I love what you're doing with these more specialty awards, because these are what everybody gets really excited about. I remember you telling me that your goal was to kind of fill some gaps with these things, kind of touch on and highlight some people that maybe weren't getting extra coverage beyond their multiple championships or whatever. So I just think that, what you're doing with these is so awesome. Right. And I love the fact that, and I think about these with our Digging Deep awards, and maybe nobody thinks twice about them, but I would love the fact that maybe mid-season, this is in the back of some people's minds. Like, man, I sure would love to be amateur rider of the year. I sure would love to, our team to get, race team of the year. Like those are things that I think are just so cool. And I love that we're highlighting these a little bit more.
I'm hoping that at mid-season next year, I can kind of go back to at least the race team thing and say, hey, if you do have an actual race team, send me who's on the team. Send me a photo.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'll be 100% honest. I struggled to find out some of these teams that people were commenting. That a lot of them I could not find a place on their website or anywhere. The only way I could figure it out was through race reports, actually.
Sure.
So if you have a race team and you want to be considered for actual race team of the year, I would highly encourage you to get a team photo and list the names of the riders alongside that photo. Kind of like what pops in my brain when I say that, I think of the Root River team. I mean, they had it so dialed with their team and their image. And I'm not saying everyone doesn't have a good image. For the most part, the teams look good. We just need to know publicly who's on the team, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense to me. And maybe Jeremy, there's a way for next year, for race team of the year, maybe there's a way to sign up, a way to add yourself to contention. So you need to have, the name of your team, a photo featuring all the riders, a list of all the riders' names. And then from that way, like if it's mid-season or whenever, like everybody, you're able to track everybody, and it's probably easier to do from there.
And that's why we'd actually like to have it at the beginning of the year, because I can almost envision what's going to happen. As racers, we're going to start to make teams halfway along in order so we can be in contention. But anyway, yes.
Got it. Got
Yep.
it. So let's start off these 3 awards with our most feared youth rider. So on the list was Joey Norris, Noah Arnall, Lillian Plaza, Caden Tverziak, and Damian Hubert. Who's our winner there, Jeremy?
It was Noah Arnall. I think both he and the other nominees were deserved of being nominated, and each one of them would have been deserved of winning this award. I feel like this award, and it may have been the same outcome, I feel like this award in particular should be voted on by just racers.
I get that.
I feel like it's like you're saying, because anyone that's watching the race, they don't know what it's like to have a Joey Norris or a Noah Arnall right on their heels, coming at them and looking for places to pass. Some of these riders do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So whether it's Friday practice or in a moto or whatever, I feel like moving forward, I got to figure out how we can just get the people who raced to vote on something like this. We just need to keep working on a little bit bigger, better mousetrap. But Noah, he is very accomplished, and he definitely deserved the win, as did, like I said, all the other kids. I feel like this group that was nominated is a really good group of youth riders. And there's no names on that list that should not be on there. All of them should be on there. So it was a good year for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love it, right? You got 2 250 riders, a younger girls rider. You have kind of some mini guys, super mini riders. So, I mean, you got a little bit of everything. I like that. It kind of covered all the bases there. So that's good.
I was going to say, you got 6 championships sitting there.
That's amazing.
So it's a good collection of kids.
Yeah. As the #1 podcast in ATV racing, it's only right that we partner with the industry leaders in suspension tuning. Insert Impact Solutions. Impact Solutions is a full-service ATV and side-by-side suspension center specializing in the revalving and service of your motocross and off-road suspension. With over 25 years of elite-level knowledge, experience, and testing with riders of all ages and ability levels, Casey Greek, Jay Goebel, and the Impact crew strive to exceed clients' expectations for service and setup. Impact Solutions is the official Elka Suspension Service Center of the United States, offering unmatched product knowledge and experience. Whether you're in need of service, parts, warranty, sales, or technical support, Impact Solutions has you covered. Head over to ImpactSolutionsATV.com or give them a call today.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
The following message is brought to you by Manscaped.com. The Manscaped engineering team has outdone themselves this time, creating the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, now available for purchase in the US and Canada. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, an official sponsor of the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, with this exclusive offer of 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code DiggingDeep20 at Manscaped.com. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0 and I am blown away. This thing is next level. What sets this trimmer apart from all the rest? The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. It features a new multi-functioning on-off switch with travel lock for those of us who like to travel. And my favorite, the new trimmer allows you to customize your trim with 4 different guard lengths, an upgrade from its predecessor that only featured 2. If you're listening, you know that good tools are a must, so wait no more to get the best tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DiggingDeep20 at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com by using code DiggingDeep20.
Hey everyone, this is Larry Mills, president of DP Brakes North America and proud partner of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. We at DP Brakes are a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheeled racers on the planet. This year's lineup includes Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin and Baldwin Motorsports, Ford Brothers Racing, Nick Janusa, and many more, including Mr. Digging Deep himself, Cody Jansen. Plus all the top 17 GNCC pros such as 7-time champion Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and previous champion Chris Borich. These top riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer. Products that ultimately help place them on top of the podium week after week. DP brakes are available through www.dp-brakes.com, or you can purchase them through your local Parts Unlimited stocking dealer, or you can even message us, myself, Larry Mills, or DP Brakes on Instagram or Facebook. And if you have any questions about product or sponsorship support, please ask us. We are waiting for you. Join the best ATV riders in the world equipped with DP Brakes, and have a great year, everyone.
Nearing 2 decades into the brand's existence, Factory 43 is back and better than ever, continuing to make major waves in the ATV world. For the 3rd consecutive season, Factory 43 is the official aluminum parts choice of the Phoenix Racing ATV team, providing their state-of-the-art Evo Nerf bars, MX-style front bumpers, and grab bars for 2-time champ Joel Hetrick. If you're in the market to upgrade your Nerf bars, bumpers, or grab bars, head over to Factory43ATV.com to see their full line of industry-leading products available for all makes and models. Head over to Factory43ATV.com today.
Success in the ATV MX world is similar to what creates financial success as well. The right people, the right advice, and more importantly, hard work and the benefit of an ongoing relationship as situations change and adversity is experienced. Do you have the right financial advisor to help you reach your goals? Haymauer Financial Group can create a personalized, goal-based plan to help your family prepare for whatever life brings. Call me, Scott Haymauer, at Haymauer Financial Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, at 920-338-8150. That's 920-338-8150. Offices located in beautiful De Pere, Wisconsin, with registrations and clients nationwide.
So let's move on to the number 1 series sponsor then, Jeremy. So RP Race Performance, Rocky Mountain ATVMC would get my vote. CST would get 2 of my votes. Kenda Tires, VP, Arma, SSI Decals would get 1 million of my votes. DWT, Hinson, Fox, Elka, Defiance Lifestyle, 88 Live to Ride, Greenwall Builders. Who took this one, Jeremy? Obviously, I kid on my votes situation. I didn't vote for these. All those are deserving, right? Like you have to commend all of them for supporting the sport that we love.
Yeah.
But who took this title for number 1 series sponsor?
88 Live
Nice.
to Ride.
Yeah, that's how is that not deserve it there?
Yeah, I mean, without Debbie, there'd be a lot of things that wouldn't have happened. She does so much for the sport, and without 88 Live to Ride, they are actually who kind of, I don't know if you'd call it the purse strings for the banquet, but all the donations go through 88 Live to Ride in order to pay for the majority of the banquet. like the large majority. So she carries a lot of that burden for me. She's basically I guess you'd call her the banquet accountant.
Yeah. Well, and I've
So,
said, Jeremy, even aside from banquet stuff, when you're talking about number one series sponsor and, 88 Live to Ride and all that Debbie does for the series, I said on one of the shows this season that everybody that's been around this series for a while, for a number of years, for a decade or 2 decades, like myself, whatever, everybody that's been around this sport has been supported, helped in some way, shape, or form by 88 Live to Ride and Debbie. We all have, so whether it was a crash and being supported that way with medical bills and stuff like that, to, like you're saying, the trickle down effect of all that she does for the series, man, like she's just such a valuable asset and such an amazing person, but what a valuable asset to our series.
It was pretty touching at High Point this year. It was the 20th anniversary, I believe, of the last time Matt, her son, had raced High
Matt
Point.
Bartosik.
And Matt Bartosik, and she donated a lot of gift cards to winners for classes. It was I didn't even know about it till it happened. Okay. But that was very nice. She is a very giving individual and super deserved of that award.
Yeah. Debbie's the best. So very deserved. 88 Live to Ride, number one series sponsor for 2022. And last but not least, Jeremy, you touched on it a little bit, race team of the year. This was a no-brainer in my mind. I stated who I would have voted for back in August. And since that's come to fruition, of course, our nominees were TDR, Phoenix Racing, Ford Brothers Racing, Decker Training Facility, Music Racing, Wienen Motorsports, Max Lindquist, ML2 Team, Rastrelli Racing, Highline Racing, 38 Motorsports, Hetrick Racing, Team G-Force, JC Racing, and E Racing. But to me, it was never really in doubt. Your 2022 race team of the year goes to the Music Racing and Repair Team. What were your thoughts on that, Jeremy?
All right. Honestly, it seemed like a slam dunk. I mean, Brett won 2 championships. CD won a championship. Brett's brother-in-law, Braden Lawless, he won a C championship. But kind of similar to Kinsey, not to keep talking about her, but them almost coming in as a rookie team. Amazing. I mean, Brett and CD are not rookies. No. And I mean, none of the riders were rookies, but as a team, they were.
As a collective effort, they
they come in and as a collective effort, the ins and outs of running a Saturday program for Brandon and everyone, and and Brandon getting on the box. I mean,
amazing.
Top 3. I mean, together, you put all that together, you add up all the parts, and that is a race team of the year effort.
Absolutely.
In hindsight, the only other one that I thought, they almost got a little bit of an argument since we put so much weight on championships was Hetrick Racing.
Okay.
I mean, between the Tvergiak kids, they had 5 championships. But I feel like the Musics were, and I agree with everyone that voted for them. They definitely looked the part of a professional team. Not that anyone else didn't, but they looked like the race team of the year.
Well, and you talk about championships, and obviously with Hetricks, having 5 there with Tvergiaks. But the cool thing about the Music deal is you have a pro sport championship. Then you have some vet championships with the junior 25 plus and masters 50 plus. And then you have a C class championship, and then you have a pro that's on the podium. So you have a little bit of everything. So I got some stats here for you, Jeremy. So 40 moto wins for the Music Racing team, 40 moto wins, 24 overalls, 7 top 5 overall finishes in the pro class with Brandon Hogue, 3 pro class overall podium finishes, 3rd in the highly coveted AMA ATV Pro Class season-ending series point standings, 4 national championships won, like I just said, Pro Sport, Junior 25 plus, Masters 50 plus, and Production C, 1 Rider of the Year award nomination, and one Race Team of the Year award win. What a rookie season for this incredible team.
Wow.
I mean, when you look at it like that, and like I said, they got a little bit of everything. They covered the whole board. It just is so impressive to me to think of them as a first year effort. And again, and I do some work for those guys. And so it's hard to even call them a rookie team, but at the same time it is because they took their background and their knowledge and everything like that, but then had to put it into an actual race team. It wasn't just, dad and son doing it for fun anymore. It was, now we're still doing it for fun, but now we got a pro rider. We got all these things. We got, all these great relationships with companies and all these things that come along with that. Man, just again, like what an effort and what a foundation laid for those guys. I kind of joked yesterday on something else I was working on that they've set the bar so high for themselves that it's going to be hard to live up to it. But if anybody can, it's the 2022 Race Team of the Year.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd imagine, like you said, they've done all these things, but now they add the coordination for a pro effort on top of their own personal riding and racing, and coordination for Braden. And it's probably just a lot more phone calls, a lot more UPS, a lot more.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. And yeah, I mean, the brand new music racing and repair team proved to be everything that Brandon Hogue needed to show the best version of himself this season. He's had some, I don't want to call them trying years, but he's had some up and down seasons in the past with different stuff that he dealt with and brand switches mid-season and all these things. So there was all kinds of stuff going on with Brandon Hogue in the past. This was clearly the best season of his career. And after, nearly winning the opener with Brandon, he puts together a season unlike he's ever had before, clinches third place in the series point standings in the pro class at the finale aboard this music racing ride of his. But so, I mean, incredible what they meant to Brandon's program. Took him to a whole nother level this season, contending in races, running with the top to all the stuff we talked about all season long. But now we know that Brandon is moving on, and I truly hate to see it, Jeremy. I've said to all parties involved, I thought it was a match made in heaven. Brett desperately wanted to keep this great thing going. He was crushed to have lost Brandon when he started to see and hear about this happening. But it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. What are your thoughts on this, Jeremy? This is something that, I've known for a while, couldn't comment on much. There's more now that we can talk about. It's a little more public knowledge, at least now that Brandon is commenting on and posting some stuff on social media. And I love everybody involved here. I love the Musigs. I love Brandon. I love everybody involved. I just really wanted them to stay together. I think it was such a great deal for them to be together like that. And obviously we saw the results on the track and what we got from that. But thoughts on that, Jeremy? Because I do think, and I said this to Brandon, I think it's a gamble for him. He knew what he had and, kind of decided to take that gamble, take that risk, take his career in a different direction. What are your thoughts on this, Jeremy?
I kind of share the same thought. Kind of unfortunate because I really liked the thought of the music race team. They didn't really conform with I guess what's popular at the nationals, and CD and Brett both have hybrids. No secret there. And Brandon ran a TRX. They didn't kind of conform to popularity. They ran what they wanted to run, and I like that. I like that part of the music team. So I'm kind of sad there to see Brandon go, but at the same time, I want to see what's best for Brandon as a pro. And I had feelings of when Joel blew up at Pleasure Valley on his Honda, 3 years ago or whatever it was. I felt that every time Brandon had a bad luck issue with the Honda, that like, man, if that thing would have stayed running, and that's not bagging on anybody. It's just bad luck, fluke things. But, that kind of, the Yamaha seemed to kind of fix that for Joel. So maybe the Yamaha will do the same thing for Brandon.
Yeah. And I had that conversation with Brandon at Loretta's, even before, I truly think even before he knew how serious some of this stuff was that he was talking about. Because at the time, at the time, I'm quite sure he didn't know about this potential change for him. But he was simply asking about my Yamaha in my program. And I told him straight up, it's a major upgrade for my program, simply because the longevity, the durability, the laps I can spin and not worry about my quad, all those things taken to another level on a Yamaha. So
the reliability.
Yeah. So I know that it was in the back of his mind already. And so he had 3 podiums this year, but it very easily, with just a few things going differently, is 5 or 6, right? Because at the opening round, he's leading when he breaks. He's clearly going to finish on the podium there, possibly going to continue to challenge, for the win there. I mean, he was leading when he broke. So we know Joel was right there, but one line track, he was leading when he broke. So there's one more podium for sure. He breaks at Briarcliff, right? He running second, he breaks at Briarcliff. So we know there was another podium that he would have had there. So that would have been 5. And he then almost won. He was 2 corners away, or 1 corner away, 2 sections away from winning the overall at Ironman before he breaks that ball joint. So man, it just a few little things going differently, and his season even is that much better. So crazy to think about that. And so this change for him, it was one of the worst kept secrets in the sport over the last 2 months. But Brandon Hogue switching back to a Yamaha for 2023 is now public knowledge. Like I said, there's only so much I can probably publicly say about it right now, but this is what we know. This is what we can comment on. So the reigning 3rd place championship finisher and 2022 Digging Deep Most Improved Pro Award winner will be riding a Yamaha for a new quote unquote team in 2023 under a name that's been in the industry for decades. That's how I worded it on social media. I know that there was going to be people, commenting on it, saying they knew who it was. So, you can look very easily, you can look at Brandon's post and see he's hashtagging Hetrick Racing. But a reminder, I think something I would like to comment on here is that this has nothing to do, absolutely no connection with Joel Hetrick whatsoever. Obviously, we know that Hetrick Racing and Joel Hetrick are different, but that's something worth noting, because I saw somebody speculate about that, trying to make that Joel Hetrick connection on one of our posts, and Carly hopped on there right away. And so this has nothing to do with Joel. We still ride for Phoenix Racing. So that's one thing I wanted to touch on here. We saw some people confusing that in some posts last week, but yeah, Brandon Hogue, Hetrick Racing on a Yamaha. A lot of big changes coming for him next season, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down. I do hope, obviously for his sake, I hope that, we see as good of or a better version than what he's had this last year. I think the Musigs bring so much to the table, so much knowledge. So, I mean, shoot, they've forgotten more about ATV racing than a lot of people in our sport will ever know. So there's so much about that program that I think is so good. I would have a hard time leaving it, but Brandon's got to do what's best for him. I'm not going to argue him going to a Yamaha. I love that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of those things that everybody's watching to see, did he make the right decision?
Well, I know one thing is going to be the same. The amount of work he puts in to get ready, I guarantee you will be the same, if not a little better.
Well, it should be better.
We know how Brandon is, and that's not going to change. So his preparation will still be on point.
Yeah. So I know that riding a YFZ 450R was an important factor when making this very difficult decision for him to leave the Music Racing and Repair Team, the 2022 Team of the Year. That was the move to Yamaha was a big part of the decision, if not the biggest part. And that's directly related to the fact that his reliability, durability,
right,
and upping his practice program, that was the biggest key for him. And I think that, like you said, we know how hard he is willing to work and wants to work. And I think that the Yamaha and the YFZ 450R is going to be kind of the key to unlocking a better practice program for him. That's why he made the decision.
Yeah, 100%. Before we get off of Race Team of the Year, I want to touch on that favorite race team award.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think it was very, don't quote me, but I think we had very similar nominees, but that award ended up going to Team G-Force. I think this is pretty cool because I see a sense of community amongst the youth ranks with this kind of an award. G-Force was heavily voted on, as well as Hetrick Racing. JC Racing Engines was voted on quite a bit.
Okay.
And it kind of shows some pride, if you will, in your sponsor and in your race team. And we actually bought a lot of parts from Gary, a lot of parts when we were on our last year of CVTs.
Yeah.
He's very personable, very knowledgeable, and very helpful. And I think that's probably why a lot of people voted for G-Force, because he does an amazing job helping people. He'll give you the shirt off his back. And so they were voted by the masses as the favorite race team.
Awesome. Yeah. Congrats to G-Force. And I don't know Gary personally. What I will say is I always see that guy grinding. You always see, and you know how I don't got to explain to anybody how it is with CVTs, but there's always work to be done. Right. And it looks like he never stops working. So that doesn't surprise me that he would get voted for favorite race team.
If you have a kid on a CVT and you're sitting in a chair, you're doing it wrong. You should be changing something.
That's funny. That's a perfect way to put it. Oh man. So that's awesome. Congrats to them. The one last thing that I wanted to comment on about the music racing team, Jeremy, is there's something big in the works for this music racing and repair team in 2023. And all I can say right now is everybody in the sport is going to be fixated on how this all plays out next season. So stay tuned for more on that in the coming weeks.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool. I think everybody last season wanted to see, was kind of watching to see how this was going to go for Brandon Hogue at the beginning of the year and this new race team. And I think that it's going to be just as interesting. It's going to be just as interesting to see this combination that is in the works. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about it in the coming weeks here on the show.
Insurance. It's not something everyone likes to talk about, but let's face it, if you race motocross, it's something you should have. Integrated Financial Concepts is an independent financial service and insurance firm who offers moto-friendly insurance and helps out riders like Nick Janusa, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and Joel Hetrick gain confidence on the track. With their unique Safe to Race and Safe to Ride programs, if you qualify, they have the ability to offer life insurance with living benefits to those who ride. With these living benefits, you may have the ability to access a portion of your life insurance policy while you're still living, for things like cancer, heart attack, stroke, or chronic illness. They can also help with many other things, such as home, auto, motorhome, and trailer insurance, as well as college planning, special needs planning, payroll processing, as well as group health benefits for your business. So whether something happens on or off the track, Integrated Financial Concepts has you covered. With their complimentary one-on-one appointments, what are you waiting for? Reach out to Mike Daniele at DANIELE_Michael at NLGroupMail.com today and see how Integrated Financial Concepts can help you. Living benefit riders are supplemental benefits that can be added to a life insurance policy and are not suitable unless you have the need for life insurance. Riders are optional and may require additional premium and may not be available in all states or on all products. This is not a solicitation for any specific insurance policy.
Just like the sport of ATV motocross as a whole, our Digging Deep community is brought together by the love for racing that we all share. Our sport is compiled of many great people, and leading that charge is the Launderville family at Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply. This racing-owned family business is a steel and concrete supplier serving the entire United States. Launderville Steel is a full-service steel supplier of new and surplus steel, aluminum, and stainless steel products, headlined by their 4130 chromoly tubing and plate used in the building of chassis for ATVs and UTVs, off-road truck racing, late model dirt and pro tractor pulling series, drag racing, and more. Launderville Steel loves their racing just as much as we do, but don't forget about their concrete division as well. With over 25 years of experience, the Concrete Division can supply everything you need to complete your next business or personal project. Their central Midwest location enables LSE to easily serve customers across the United States. For a quote, additional info, answers to more of your questions, or to talk a little racing, head over to laundervillesteel.com or give them a call today. We are proud to be partnered with yet another racer-owned company. Thank you, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply. Here at Digging Deep, we have an obvious passion for ATVs and pridefully enjoy sharing the sport's history. Since 2019, when the podcast was born, we've been working to partner with individuals who share our passion, but one man and his vision had been missing from our partnership group. Until now. When it comes to the sport's history, the hallowed grounds of Binky's Forever ATC Museum has it all. Binky Tapscott's mind-blowing collection of 3- and 4-wheelers has preserved history by spanning all makes and models from Honda 3-wheelers in chronological order to unique builds that shaped ATV racing as we know it, like Doug Gust's iconic DRZ-powered hybrid thumper and everything in between. There's no denying Binky's passion, a passion that we certainly relate to here at Digging Deep. Binky's goal is to share his amazing collection with fellow enthusiasts by making his prized possessions accessible to the public via scheduled visits. Follow Forever ATC Museum on Facebook and watch foreveratc.com for further updates on possibly getting a chance to see Binky's Forever ATC Museum for yourself. We are proud to welcome Binky's Forever ATC Museum to the Digging Deep family. Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant. The best power sports coolant on the market, Evans prevents overheating and boilover so you need not worry about harming your engine or suffering a premature end to your ride no matter what the conditions. Designed for use in ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, and other power sports equipment, when conditions are at their worst, Evans is at its best. Upgrade to Evans now to avoid overheating and boilover next time you hit the track or trail. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP20 at checkout to save at evanscoolant.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. But as we wind down, Jeremy, I want to touch on our 2022 Digging Deep Awards quick before we get out of here. As previously announced, Brandon Hogue, we talked about it on this show. He's our 2022 Digging Deep Most Improved Pro. And we've also speculated about it, and we tried to get him on this episode to talk about it, but it didn't quite work out. So we'll make that happen here in the near future. But our 2022 Rising Star Award is Aaron Salinas. Aaron Salinas is our 2022 Rising Star Award winner. So Jeremy, our Rising Star Award that we do here at Digging Deep, it started with JJ Launderville in 2020. 2021, the award went to Dane Molander. And now our 2022 Digging Deep Rising Star Award goes to Aaron Salinas. He really made the leap this season. All three of these riders look to be soon to be pros, so he fits the mold there. And Aaron just passed the eye test. You know, that's kind of something that you've touched on with some of these other awards is there's an eye test that goes on, that you just watch a rider make a leap. You watch him fit the mold for whatever award you're considering at that time. Aaron clearly did that. And it just seemed obvious to me down the stretch of the season that he was the pick for our 2022 Digging Deep Rising Star Award.
Yeah, he's as you say, sometimes he's a grinder. That kid is a worker.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's always working, and to live where he lives outside of the season, down in that part of Texas, and to travel like he does, and school and working and getting ready to race. The guy just, he seemed to me, those types of racers are relentless.
Yeah.
They have a hard schedule and a hard travel log, and they just keep going. And he looked, like you said, phenomenal this year. I mean, that the whole top 5 Pro-Am just looks so fast. Fast.
Yeah. And I love his story, right? I love his story, coming into the season very much under the radar, being at Texas A&M University, which is, not the norm as far as up and coming rising star, as fast amateur, that's not the MO of most of them. And then to be working and doing all these other things for him, it's just, I love the story. And then, knowing where he's deep in South Texas at a big university, all the things juggling, that. And then, so he goes Pro-Am runner-up this year. He's 3rd in pro sport. And so he racks up 13 total podiums between those two classes, which is super impressive. 3 overall wins, but that's up from 3 podiums. So from 3 podiums to 13 podiums, and from 0 wins to 3 wins in 2021 to 2022. And it's not like he spent the whole offseason at Decker's training facility. That's the amazing part. So to know the story, to know the big jump that he made, and to very much look like a future pro here in the near future. That's what made Aaron Salinas the Digging Deep Rising Star Award winner for us. So wanted to touch on that. Like I said, he's going to be a guy that I had hoped would be able to get on this episode with us, but for reasons like we just said, because of his school schedule and his work schedule, we couldn't make our schedules align. So we'll talk to him here in the near future, but congrats to him on winning that. I know I should have the awards in hand this week, and then we'll get them sent out to those guys, and we'll have some photo ops to post and stuff with those guys for that. But Jeremy, before we get out of here, as we're winding down, I've said that a few times now, we're getting real close. I'm going to spring one on you here, buddy. So we don't give this award away, but maybe we should in the future. So 2022 ATV Motocross Moment of the Year. What would the moment be for you? What moment would get your vote?
Well, I mean, if it were for me personally, it would have to be Kinsey winning the second moto at Texas.
Okay.
I mean, that's a personal thing. You know, that was her first WMX win. It was kind of surreal because I actually didn't even see it coming. It was kind of a surprise.
Okay.
I honestly thought she'd probably ride around behind Andrea just like she did the first moto. But she pulled the whole shot, and that was all she wrote. For me, I guess if I were to choose a personal one, that would be it.
Yep. Got it.
As a series or as a bigger look, I guess, since a lot of it's kind of fresh in my head, is watching Dane Molander pull out Pro-Am at Loretta's. I was standing down there near his dad, near the mechanics area, and you could see the stress. He was like, please stay together, please stay together. And yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's just because we were talking about Aaron and Pro-Am, but that's the first thing that pops in my mind when you ask that.
And honestly, that's a great thing to hit on, and a part of the topic that I didn't touch on before. But when Aaron suffered that get off at Redbud, things were aligning for them to be like tied or within a point, winner take all going into Loretta's, right? Like it was going to be nip and tuck. Like I said, winner take all. It looked like that's how it was going to go down. And then we didn't get that, but we still saw some incredible racing at Loretta's there. And if Dane, I don't know how to say this, because Aaron, very deserved winner. So proud that he's our winner because I love the kid. Dane had already won it last year. Otherwise, I mean, it probably would have been his award for the taking, just because the way that we saw it go down, especially at the end of the year. At the end of the year, to like at Loretta's, he didn't need to win. And he went out and chased Aaron down and won both motos and kind of put his stamp on it, his seal of approval on it. And I came away from that super, super impressed. I remember posting and saying that he did his best Joel Hetrick impression because he didn't have to win and he did it anyway.
Did I mess that up? I thought he had to at least finish. No.
Well, I think he had to finish because it was. I believe it would have been like 9 points or something.
So you're right. He didn't need to win.
He didn't need to win.
He still had to. Yeah,
exactly.
Correct.
And he still did. No, you're good. So yeah, it's just awesome to see how it all played out. Awesome. What a great crop of young racers that we got going on right now. So that's awesome. I got to say, so I would assume, and I would like to know, I would like to pause time right now and be able to poll people in the spirit of this episode that we just talked about for the last however long. I would like to poll people on what their vote would have been for moment of the year, because I would have to believe that most people's would be the same as mine as ATV motocross fans. It's Nick DeNoble winning Moto2 at Ironman.
Oh,
it's how I mean, dude. what I still to this day, I was just telling somebody in the shop the other day, they were talking about something and they must have been like disconnected from the whole ATV motocross thing for a little while, a local Wisconsin person. And I said, no, I told him like Nick DeNoble won Ironman and, won Moto2 at Ironman. And they just about fell off their chair. It's crazy. What a moment it'll never be forgotten. We'll talk about it for forever. That happened earlier this season. We're still talking about it now. I still can't hide the smile on my face. What an amazing time to be alive. Nick DeNoble wins Moto2 at Ironman.
I'm officially changing mine to that. That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
I
like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Moment of the year. Nick DeNoble wins Moto2 at Ironman. That's amazing. So last question for you, Jeremy, as we finish up. What an awesome conversation this has been. This has been so much fun. Two questions, I guess, kind of here. So first, our amateur and pro off-season meetings are coming up. I believe they're right around the corner here. So when are those for our listeners? Tell our listeners when those are and what's on the docket as far as topics or changes go that you know of. Anything notable there?
I don't have any update on what's been submitted.
Okay.
That people have until Monday to submit
Okay.
any rule changes, petitions, any ideas, class changes, things of that nature. And I believe it's Tuesday, Wednesday. The times are listed on the ATV Motocross site.
Okay.
There's a slot for amateur, I think WMX and Pro Sport, Pro, and Youth. You basically just click on the link and it takes you to the Zoom or phone number or whatever, and you can listen into those meetings. And those are coming up pretty quick next week. And yeah, I don't have any. I've heard rumors of things people were saying they were going to submit, but I don't actually know of. I have not seen a list of what's been submitted.
Got it. Yeah, I wanted to touch on that just to make people aware if they want to be a part of it, want to sit in on it, want to get some things submitted. So I wanted to be able to touch on that before we got it out of here. And then secondly, Jeremy, typically we know the schedule typically by the time, we get to the banquet, but the banquet was a little bit earlier, I think, this year than it maybe was in years past. So I'm sure that had something to do with that impacted that a little bit. But what can you tell us about the 2023 schedule? Because it's not been released yet. It's not public knowledge yet. I know that there's probably stuff that you can't say, but is there anything of note, anything that you can let our listeners know about the 2023 schedule for ATV motocross?
Similar as the other stuff. I've heard rumor of different tracks, nothing concrete. I've not seen a draft schedule, but last year it was the day of the banquet. I believe it was released online like November 4th or whatever that day was. So typically the MX Sports likes to get through Ironman, GNCC, and then finalize schedules for both GNCC and ATV MX. So we still got a week or two, I think. But I do know, or at least I think I know, Briarcliff's back on the schedule.
Nice.
So
no surprise, Jeremy. You've been slaying it.
Possibly a little later in the year, maybe July. So, okay. But that nothing firmed up yet.
Got it. Okay. Well, we'll take that little bit of knowledge. We like that. We like that a lot. You've been slaying it. Like I said, this is something that I said on past episodes with you when we talked to you surrounding your event, that it's a no brainer that the series has to go to your track and continue to go to your track. Cause it's been a big positive mark on the schedule for sure. So congrats on that. And thanks for sharing everything you got there. And Jeremy, is there anything else that we haven't touched on yet? We've touched on a lot. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Yeah, there is something I want to talk about. It involves Blue Crew, which is the Yamaha contingency for ATV MX. I've gotten a number of messages and emails and things, people asking me, because right before the banquet, we kind of had a quick, hey, you got to get signed up. It's for the YFZR giveaway. Well, we really should be getting everyone signed up before the season. Everyone that races a YFZ 450R and is signed up for Blue Crew on the Yamaha Motorsports website, every entry that you have enters you into a chance to win that YFZ 450R at the banquet. Gage Beebe is who won it this year. I think Mason Hunt won it the year we were at the Corvette Museum. My mind is slipping on who won it last year, but I kind of thought maybe it was Keaton.
I think it is Keaton. It was Keaton. Yes, it was.
So those three individuals benefited from signing up for Blue Crew, running at least one ATV MX event. Now, and they also have contingency dollars for championships if they were to to keep the same classes next year as this year, WMX, Pro Sport, Production A, Production B, and Production Stock BC all get $500 for winning a championship. And Pro-Am, first place is $2,500, second's $1,500, third was $750, fourth is $500, and fifth was $250. But you got to get signed up. It does not cost anything to sign up.
I can tell you from experience, Jeremy, and I can telling the listeners here, it took no time flat. It wasn't a long application. It was nothing special. It was very, very easy to sign up for that Blue Crew support program.
I mean, we have one manufacturer right now solidly supporting ATVMX with a free ATV giveaway and thousands of dollars in championship contingency. The least you could do would be to go sign up for Blue Crew. They do look at those numbers, and they do judge how successful their efforts are by those numbers. And it would help us as a group if the people who are riding Yamahas would go ahead and sign up for Blue Crew. So
yes. Yeah, I think why would you not? Why would you not? If every single person at the racetrack that's riding a Yamaha should be signed up for this program, like you told me before we hit record on this thing, if nothing else, you're getting entered to win a new YFZ 450R. So every single person that rides a YFZ, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to race 8 or 9 nationals, I mean, why would you not sign up? Because then that's 8 or 9 chances to win versus no chances.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Jeremy. So I'm glad that we were able to touch on that before we got out of here. But Jeremy, I think that'll do it. I think that we tied up a lot of the series, a lot of these specialty awards, people that stood out, all these things, all these great talking points, great conversation. This has been so much fun. You're the man, Jeremy. This has been so much fun. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you so very much for all your time and effort that you continue to give to our beloved sport day after day. Wishing Kinsey a speedy recovery, and we'll see you soon back at the track, pal. The season will be here before we know it. Look forward to seeing you. Can't thank you enough for your time. And man, I appreciate this conversation here tonight so much. This has been awesome.
No, thank you very much. I do appreciate what you do for the sport. I could talk like this for hours. I think it's pretty cool. It's easy to talk about stuff that you love, and yeah, season's coming. Everybody better start getting ready.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jeremy. It's been so much fun. Thanks for all the conversation, the shared insight, all the knowledge, everything else. I can't thank you enough for that. So we'll see you soon. All right, pal.
All right, man. Have a good one.
That's Jeremy Osborn, owner of Briarcliff himself, right here on the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Thanks, Jeremy. Man, that was awesome. Major thanks to tonight's guest, Jeremy Osborn. Dude cares about our sport so much. Appreciate everything that he does a ton, and always enjoy him on the podcast here. Thanks to producer Dallas Jansen, my brother, for all his hard work. Thanks to Brooke and AMA official Harv Whipple. Thanks to all of our donors. You know who you are. We appreciate you so much. Thanks to all of our partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. SSI Decals, DID Racing Chain, Namura Technologies, Bronco ATV and UTV Components, Impact Solutions, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, the financial advice of the Haymore Financial Group, Forworks Carbon, DP Brakes, Factory 43, Integrative Financial Concepts and their Safe to Race and Safe to Ride insurance programs, Binky's Forever ATC Museum, Evans Waterless Power Sports Coolant, Walsh Racecraft, and Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DIGGINGDEEP20 at manscaped.com. Support the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. Find it all on our website, and be sure to click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner for all your gear and parts needs and to help us out. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. Our show merchandise can be found at shop.diggingdeepatvmx.com, so check that out. And if you're looking for another easy way to help support us, visit our website and click the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee buttons. This allows you to set up a one-time or monthly contribution to support our efforts. You can give us a call using our voicemail line. That's always an option. You can give us a reaction to the show, some hot takes, the races in season, and everything in between. We'd love to play them on the show and react to what you have to say. The number is 920-569-3519. We want to hear from you. Give us some talking points this off season, so give us a call. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen, for additional content, coverage, and more fun stuff as we transition fully into the off-season. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. Wherever you find podcasts, you'll find the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. All episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsor links, and discount codes, our show merchandise, fantasy info, and more can be found on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com, so check that out today. Be a friend, tell a friend, please download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. And with that, for Jeremy Osborn, Brooke Jansen, Dallas Jansen, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen, thanks for listening to and making us the #1 podcast on ATV racing with more than 182,000 downloads last month in 95 total countries. Until next time, thanks for joining us and digging deep with the stars of ATV Motocross. And stick around after the outro as we congratulate all of our national champions on behalf of Digging Deep. Things are crashing and burning here at the Digging Deep podcast, much like the Titanic.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
Quadlers are freaking gnarly.
On behalf of all of us here at Digging Deep, we want to congratulate all of our 2022 ATV Motocross National Champions. Starting with congratulations, Joel Hetrick, AMA ATV Pro. Pro-Am, Dane Molander. Pro Sport, Brett Musick. Open B, Michael Lahote. Open C, Raymond Camella. 450A, Jaden Launderville. 450B, Tristan Cheney. 450C, Kazan Van Fossen. Production A, Payden Lingle. Production B, Austin Dyer. Production C, Braden Lawless. Production Stock BC, Austin Dyer. College 16 to 24, Juan Andarchuhu. Junior 25 plus, Brett Musick. Veteran 30 plus AB, Jeffrey Robbins. Veteran 30 plus C, Zachary Wyatt. Senior 40 plus AB, Jeffrey Robbins. Senior 40 plus C, Chris Thomas. Masters 50 plus, CD Musick. WMX, Kinsey Osborn. Women's 15 plus, Kinsey Osborn. Youth All-Star 14 to 17, Noah Arnold. 250 Mod 13 to 15, Noah Arnold. Schoolboy Senior 13 to 17, Joey Norris. Schoolboy Junior 12 to 15, Caden Tverziak. Super Mini 12 to 15, Damian Hubert. 125 8 to 15, Camden Arnold. Schoolgirl 13 to 17, Natalie Jackson. Girls 8 to 13, Lillian Plaza. 90 Open 8 to 13, Caden Tverziak. 90 Automatic 8 to 13, Caden Pearson. 90 Shifter 8 to 13, Caden Tverziak. 70 Open 6 to 11, Ethan Tverziak. 70 Automatic 6 to 11, Ethan Cornell. 70 Shifter 6 to 11, Ethan Tverziak. 50 Open 4 to 8, Logan Mazway. 50 CVT 4 to 8, Logan Mazway. And 50 Automatic 4 to 6, Sammy Joe Baxter. Congratulations to all of our 2022 ATV Motocross National Champions.